Yeah. Boundless Hour, man. We back.
As always, every Saturday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m.
We got something special in the building, too,
Very
man.
special.
Legend right here. We got set up with us right here. We got Mellow Man Ace.
Hey,
What's up, Mellow Man Ace? How you feeling tonight, man?
everything, man. Feeling good, brother.
That's
Feeling
what's
good,
up,
man.
Happy 420, bro.
Hey, this came from the event.
That's
Actually,
what's
this
up,
came from the
yeah.
event. It was smoky in there.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
what's
It
up?
was good.
I seen you and the OG Frost were up in there, too, huh?
Yeah. Frost always, he plugged me in, so it was
Oh,
like,
yeah?
him and I are like Lewis and Clark, and everything that we do is like.
Man, hey, y'all both pioneers, that's for sure.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate it.
man.
Thank you for being here today, too, man. It's an honor to have you over here with us today on our little show.
Yeah, man. Nah, it's all love, man. Like I always said, man, everything matters to me. You know what I mean? My mother taught me and my brother son like a long time ago. She said, big or small or medium, anything in between, everything matters that you do. And no matter if there's 10 people in the crowd or 10,000 people in the crowd,
Right.
give it 110%.
Yeah.
Right,
Those are
right.
two things that I've carried on with me for a long time.
Okay.
And it's worked because here I am.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Smart
we
woman,
appreciate
yeah,
it, man.
Definitely.
You are our first celebrity interview. I'll tell you that. Our first celebrity
Wow,
interview.
man, celebrity?
Oh, you a
Oh,
celebrity.
come on, man.
You being humble. You being humble.
I
but
know.
Yeah, you a celebrity.
Acting like we don't know about the star they just put down for Cypress
That's what
Hill.
I'm saying. Come
Uh-huh.
on now.
Okay.
Come on,
Okay.
man. We know.
Everybody's seen
Yeah.
that.
We know.
So speaking of that, man, let's get right into it. We talking, man. You were one of the founders of Cypress Hill.
Yes, indeed.
Correct.
Yeah.
How did that come to be, man? How did you one day you're sitting there smoking one and thinking, man, I'm gonna put a group together and have it explode as a Latin group?
Okay, there's a lot that goes into that answer. But remember, we came up in the 80s,
Right.
and at the time, I think there was 2 or 3 hip-hop movies out. There was Wild Style, B Street, and Crush Groove, I think.
Okay.
Right? So we kind of saw that, I'm just gonna speak for myself.
Right.
I'm gonna speak for the other guys. I'm gonna speak about what I personally experienced and took in.
Okay.
So I saw that we could take this thing to a bigger, all the way to the screen if we do this right. And so the first movie that inspired me was Wild Style. Okay, and then I believe it was either Crush Groove or Beat Street. They kind of came out around the same time. One was the Run DMC based Crush Groove movie, and then you have Beat Street, which is more about the B-boys.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Break dancing was a
Breakdancing and all
lot
that stuff,
of
yeah.
that element and part of that. You know what I mean? And so I went about. At the time, we're talking about 1983, I started writing lyrics in 10th grade in school. So then my brother and I started writing probably about the same time. And so it was he and I who lived on Cypress Avenue, right?
Okay.
Okay.
And we kind of together said, let's start a crew. And we called it DBX Crew. Right, and then we went about recruiting one of the other homies, Tomahawk Funk, from Funk Dubious, who had grown up with us, went to school with us.
Yeah.
Right? So then I joined this breakdance crew called the LAB Boys, and one of the dudes, his name was Jeep at the time, and he would go on to change it to Chili Chill and Cool Chill and Be Chill. Eventually became Be Real. But I got him.
That's crazy.
They went through the names, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we all kind of did. I started out as Frosty, because I was a b-boy first. We started b-boying.
I didn't know that one either. You're a breakdancer, bro. You got to show
Okay.
us that
Yeah,
outside
yeah.
when
Man,
you go on break.
You still get down?
Still get down or what?
I can pretend to get down. I'll do you up rock and you think I'm about to bust a windmill, but I can't do that. Right? And so then I noticed that our breakdance crew, they was more concerned with pulling a couple shorties
Oh, okay.
and after the battle.
Right.
And I'm like, man, there's got to be more to this than just pulling a couple shorties after a battle.
Right.
And we already had those examples of those 3 movies, so I said, I'm going to do it to that level. right? And so that's what really inspired me and Sendog, I can say, to start the group. And then I brought Be Real from that breakdance crew.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget it because it was the bleachers of Southgate High School. I went to my breakdance crew and I said, look, I'm leaving the crew and I'm taking Chili Chill with me.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody got something to say, step up now. And whatever, we can handle it, right? Well, nobody stepped up.
Mm-hmm.
So I brought him, I took him out of there. We walked right back on my block and I introduced him to my brother. Because my brother's a little older than us, right?
Okay.
At that time, you know, all the time. He's
Right.
all the time.
It's
You
like
know?
at some point we got the same age.
Yeah. He's older all the time.
Right.
So he had a different group of friends, and I had a different group of friends, even though I'm only 2.5 years younger, right? And so when I introduced Senator B, they hit it off right away. You know what I mean? And you know, we became a strong clique, and then we added a guy by the name of Crazy D, who happened to be the only Mexican down with NWA at the time.
Oh, damn.
Okay. Yeah. And so Crazy D, he lived in Huntington Park. We was from Southgate. And so he would go from South Central and come back to Southgate. He would mess with Easy, Dre, and Cuban them and do all that. And then when he was done there, he come to our block, and then we go battle MCs in Huntington Park, Bell, Cudahy, you know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Stuff like that, Linwood, whatever. And we won so many battles that we got our rep up. But that's really how that whole thing started. Now, it's such a long story, I know, but
how did you guys get to the name Cypress Hill from that first name that you had? I mean, I know you said you
Where
guys
the
grew
Hill
up
part come from, yeah.
on Cypress, but
yeah.
how did you guys get to the name that's famous today?
Well,
Go ahead.
well, I mean, it's another long story, but because if you want the setup, you want the Hollywood fluff story, or do you want the truth? You know what I mean?
True. Right.
Within that whole time frame, my father ends up kicking me out of the house, right? Because I didn't want to hold a job. He got me a job at Delta where he worked. I was at baggage claim, and I was letting bags go with hand grenades, like pretend, you know how they test you.
Right.
You know, you got to learn how to run a conveyor belt through the monitor and detect bombs and pipe bombs and all these things. I was so terrible at it, I was letting bombs go through and shit like that.
Oh, man.
And so they fired me, and so then he said, okay, wait a minute. Let's put him out on the ramp, you know. Anyway, he kicks me out of the house because I quit the job. And then Mom's got me an interview at her job at CBS, and I never even showed up. Right? So they said, we can't help this kid. So he kicks me out of the house, and I moved with the homie's house in the hood to the homie's house. It was like the party house, right? So in that time, Pops was basically telling me, you're going to become a man. Like, do something. If you're going to do something, do it now. Because now you're living in the hood house. It's roaches, it's parties, it's the whole, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, frat house.
Yeah, it's like a frat house.
Yeah.
Everybody smoking beans and, you know, doing things, you know. That was just how we got down.
Same thing, different day, right?
Right.
That's how we got down. So I was like, man, and then I had to go back on the block because that's where we all would get together and freestyle and rhyme at. And like, I'm standing out in front of my mom and dad's house, but I can't go in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, this sucks, B. And then I said, you know what? I'm gonna first chance I get, you know. Now remember, we cut demos and shopping it around. We went to a few bogus record company dudes and guys who wanted us to sign our publishing within all that little time. So the reason I had to leave was to become a man. Right? So, and then at that same time, my man DJ Muggs, who produced all the Cypress Hill stuff, he ended up leaving too. He went to New York and got into a group called 783.
Okay.
And they were signed to Geffen Records, and they had, you know, there was two brothers from Queens, Muggs being from Queens originally. So he goes to do that, and so I'm like, man, I can't stop. Obviously, he's showing me like, don't just put your eggs in one basket type of thing.
Right.
So then the opportunity came up to go up to Delicious Vinyl Records one day, and that's when I got discovered right there. So then I tried to bring Sen and Be Real up to Delicious Vinyl, but Muggs was like, nah, let's not do that.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna fuck Mellow. They're gonna get him,
Right.
which didn't happen, by the way.
Yeah.
Anyway, the three stayed together, and they said, okay, it went from DVX to the Hill Tribe first, then it went to Cypress Hill Tribe,
Oh, okay.
then when Tribe Called Quest came out, that's when they said we got to drop the
Yeah,
Tribe.
take out the
Okay,
Tribe.
yeah,
Tribe.
right. That makes
So it stayed at Cypress Hill.
Okay.
What was your first rap song that you fell in love with?
First rap song, oh man, fell in love with.
Yeah.
That
That you heard it, you're like,
made you just
You're like, all right, the song's over, but I gotta play it
Yeah.
again.
No,
I gotta hear this
not
again.
like that.
You probably have never heard of this record, and I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way.
No.
It was Beat Bop. Beat Bop by a brother named the Ramel Z.
I heard it.
Produced by Basquiat. If you know anything about art, you know who Basquiat is. You know what I mean? And that to me was like the record is a lot of us got our styles from that.
Okay.
You know, when you hear Ad Rock of the Beastie Boys use that screechy voice, that's where you got it from. When you hear me on Rhyme Fighter, that's where I got that style from. When you hear B Real's whole career,
Yeah.
that's where you got that style from.
Yeah, for
You know what I
real.
mean? So you got to give credit where credit
I
is due.
like
Of
that
course.
Rhyme Fighter track, man. I like that.
Good looking out.
Yeah,
Good
man,
looking
I was
out.
listening to that the
That's
other day. I
crazy.
like that one.
Your Jay's dad was a label rep at Capitol Records on the New York side.
Oh,
I didn't even
Right.
know that, Jay.
So-
What, you keeping over information
Hey
from us, bro?
man,
What the hell?
hey look,
let us know.
I,
Son.
We gotta know- we gotta know what
look,
we're sitting with
look,
right
man.
now.
I've told you guys before that when we lived over there, obviously I can't remember because I was too little. I used to go with him as a baby to the record label all the time.
You never
all
told
the
me
time.
this, bro.
And remember when you met Positive K?
Yeah.
That's how he knew. From over there. So.
You didn't tell me that, though.
Well, yeah, I used to be with him. He took me everywhere with him. I went everywhere with him. So,
Yeah.
you know, that was.
Damn,
But I can't
that's
remember
crazy.
it, obviously.
Yeah,
you know.
no. That's
Yeah.
but his dad was instrumental in bringing the Capitol Records artists from L.A. To New York, but because he had a key to the streets of New York. So he was our in-between guy. Like, if we needed to go to the illest DJ shows, his dad had the plug.
That's
His
crazy.
dad was the plug, right? So his dad took me to meet DJ Red Alert for the first time. Took me to meet DJ Charlie Chase. Took me to hang out with Positive K and brothers like Diamond D. And, you know, the Roots before they were blown up. You know what I mean?
Hey, Jay, you gotta send me my mixtape.
Back when he was DJ Money Moses.
Damn.
Yeah,
In his
that's
younger
crazy,
days.
man.
Yeah.
Man, we right here at Boundless Hour, man, with Mellow Man Ace. We're gonna get into a few songs right now, just like one or two, just to keep it running, you know, and then we're gonna come back, keep talking to Mellow, man. This is a big moment for us right now. So
Yeah,
the
definitely.
first songs we got coming up is Timberland Up. Who got
So
that?
this first track it's an East Coast track. It's an Apollo Brown track actually, featuring Joel Ortiz
Right.
and Royce da 5'9".
All Latinos. By the way, what we did tonight as a segment, because we have, you know, a Latin rap legend right now sitting with us, we decided to make a Latin hip hop segment tonight. So all the tracks we're gonna play tonight are all Latin based rappers and you know, rappers, you know, who.
At least featured on it, because we know Royce is not Latin, but
Yeah.
but you know,
So
this one
tonight
got Joel
you're hearing all
Ortiz on
Latin
it.
rappers, you know.
Well, I appreciate the homage, man, and that's big because I remember a time when we didn't have enough Latino rap records
Exactly,
to play.
man.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's big. Let's get
So,
into
and
it.
let's get into it, man. Let's go
Yeah,
play.
definitely.
Jay, go ahead and
So
introduce the
we're
tracks,
gonna
man.
go ahead and play the first track by Apollo Brown. It is Timberland Up with Joel Ortiz and Royce da 5'9", and then right after that is We Love Them Hoes, and I don't know who that song
It's
is.
by Tango. I can't say his last name.
Oh, Tego Calderon. That's
Yeah.
what
There
it
you
is.
go.
There you go.
Tego Calderon.
It's featuring the game, and it's
Yeah.
like some one of the songs that
There was a big Puerto
It
Rican.
blew my mind when I
Yeah.
heard it.
He's a big Puerto Rican. He started in reggaeton actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. His whole thing was
Man, okay.
that was him.
Still
bro.
there with Daddy Yankee.
Exactly. He's over there doing that. But
Okay.
let's go ahead and play those 2 tracks, man. Let's go ahead. This is Boundless Hour, Danny Yacres production. We got Mellow Man Ace in the building. Alright, we back, man. It's a Boundless Hour right here. We got Leo G, Kane, Mellow Man Ace, and Jay Moses right here, man. And we chilling, man. Happy 420 to all y'all out there, you know.
I know they enjoying it right now.
Man, I wish I could have do it. Anyways, man, we back, and we're talking to one of the pioneers of Latin rap. And, you know, I know you like being humble, dude, but I'm gonna call it straight up. You are one of the pioneers, you know. And you are Cuban, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And little background, you know, you came from Cuba at a young age. How did that come about to be, man? And why come all straight to Los Angeles? Because, you know, Los Angeles is far away from Cuba.
Yeah.
A lot of people
yeah.
stay in Miami, you know. A lot of Cubans I know stay in Miami, but y'all straight came over here, you know, saying West Side, you know.
Well, I mean, that's a trippy story because when I was born, I'll shorten it up because I had a way of setting things up and then you get the whole thing.
Right.
Basically,
You got time, man. You got time. We got time limit.
Okay, all right. Well, in that case, you know, when I was born, I won the Cuban lottery to get my family off the island. Yeah.
Hold up, explain the Cuban lottery.
The Cuban lottery was a program created by the government that allowed families who had differences with the Fidel Castro regime,
Yeah.
whether it was political, whether it was economical, you could get off the island. But the trick was, for this particular thing, is you had to have children,
Okay.
right? So when my older sister was born, her number didn't appear in the lottery system. And then my brother Sendog was born, his number didn't appear in the lottery
Is that
either.
your brother?
Sendog's my brother.
Oh, I didn't
my
know
brother,
that.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Cypress Hill, yeah. So then when I was born, my number hit the lottery,
Yeah.
right? And so I was born in 1967. But the messed up part about it was I won the lottery, but they took 4 years before they let us out. And what they did, they were trying to break my father's will and make him believe that the only kind of jobs was. So what they did was they took his degrees away, his teaching math, science, and physical ed in school at the schools there, and they put him to work in the sugarcane fields and in the sewers. And they said, if you go to the United States, this is the kind of jobs you're gonna get. Why would you want to go?
Oh,
So they
okay.
tried to tear
Wow.
away from it.
Right. They tried to break his will, but my dad already had a buddy who had came over to the United States, another Cuban brother.
Yeah.
And he had set up shop at Delta Airlines, which is how that whole Delta thing
Oh, okay.
ends
Okay.
up, right? So my dad he says, nah, I'm not buying into it. So by 1971 now, remember now I'm 4 years old,
Right.
we got a knock at the door, and it was an officer, I forget, my mother's told me his name, but I'm forgetting it now. And he says, here's your papers to leave, you know, your son, Ulpiano. They actually said, is Ulpiano Reyes here? And at this time, my grandfather's name is Ulpiano Reyes,
Oh, okay.
and my uncle's name is Ulpiano Reyes.
Okay, so they didn't know who they were asking.
I'm Ulpiano Reyes
Yeah.
the third, right? So whoever answered the door says, well, here he comes, and
Oh, you guys
they
came
go,
out?
no, the one we're looking for is way younger than that. You know?
Yeah.
And so finally, my mom like starts yelling for joy, like, my son won the lottery? Yes, you get to leave now. And so that's how that happened.
Sounds
That's
like a
fate,
blessing,
man.
yeah.
Hey, that was fate for sure.
Most deaf. I mean, I think of all those things, and just recently how you said Cypress got the star on the Walk of Fame.
Yeah.
It's like that wouldn't have happened if I don't win the lotto.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
That
so
was like the start of everything.
Start of
right there.
Cypress, man.
I
Honestly,
brought
'cause
you
had
out
that
here
not
for a
happen-
reason, right? I mean, everything happens for a reason, right?
yeah, that's
You
what
won
they
that
say.
lotto. You guys were able to come
Yeah.
out here. You started your group. You know, now you guys got the star, and man, it's great.
That's
Well,
crazy, man.
I'm still gonna get my own star. You know what I mean?
There you
I'm
go.
still
Yeah,
working.
there
I'm
you
still
go.
working.
Right,
I'm still
yeah,
working.
yeah, for sure,
But
for sure.
enough respect to my brother and B and Muggs and those guys for their accomplishments. They definitely showed us the way, you know, the rest of us. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
were the first now to open that door. And so I'm expecting Kid Frost, and I'm
Oh, for
expecting
sure.
the Beat Nuts and Fat Joe and
Yeah.
Little
all
Rob's
and
out
myself
there,
to
you know.
come back through
For
there
sure.
and add
Yeah.
on to that. You
Oh,
know what I mean?
definitely.
So
You said something earlier that you know, you said you guys didn't have any Latin influences during those times as far as rappers and all that. So who was the first other than
we did. I didn't say that.
Oh, okay, good. My bad. I misworded.
We didn't have a lot of rap records to play.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
There
yeah,
was
my bad.
Latin
Yeah, so as
based.
far as like records and all that, but other than yourself and the whole Cypress situation, who was the first Latin rapper
Yeah.
that you said, man, this guy is, or you know, that piqued your interest straight off?
I
the bat?
think there's only one answer, man. The great Mr. Schick of the Mean Machine, Puerto Rican brother from the Bronx,
Ooh, nice.
and he had a record. They had a record called Disco Dream on Sugar Hill Records,
Oh, okay.
and there was an all English rap, but toward the end of the record, Mr. Schick broke off into a Spanish rap, a little short, little catchy rap. But I remember listening to it in '83 in there,
Okay.
and I said, I want to be like that guy.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I want to be like that guy. I want to take that little piece that he did, and I'm gonna make, instead of just a little piece, I'm gonna make a whole record. Right?
Yeah.
And so when I first got signed to Delicious Vinyl, I made sure my first single was an all Spanish rap record. Probably the first all Spanish rap record in hip hop. Not just a small piece, you feel me?
What year was that when you put that out?
That was 1987. So about 4 years after I heard
After you
him.
heard that, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's powerful, man. Because for me, it being a Latino too and being a rapper at the same time, my first, you know, Latin rapper that I heard was Frost. Yeah, straight up. You know, so I'm born in '93. You know, so years later, early 2000s, I knew about rap. I knew about Tupac and all them, obviously NWA and all that.
Sure.
And then the funny thing that happened was my aunt accidentally bought one of Frost CDs, thinking it was some artist that she knew, and heard it and it was hip hop. She's like, oh, what? And she gave it to me. She's like, oh, let's listen to this. So here you go.
Yeah.
And I put it in. First song I heard is boom, 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 boom,
Yeah,
boom,
yeah.
boom, boom. And I'm over here like, whoa, you know, here comes in Frost Q, whoa, Aki Story, MC Kid Frost. And I'm like, whoa, what
Yeah.
the hell, what is this? Probably the same thing that happened when you heard that little piece right there at the end of that track.
Absolutely.
That you heard in
Absolutely. No, that is exactly how I felt. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. You got a question, John?
But before you started your rap career, your first was baseball, right?
Yeah. Big time. My pops was grooming me to be a baseball player. And I was really good. I was a pitcher. And, you know, some of the Dodger scouts would come down there where we grew up, and they would watch, you know. But my problem was I was a dummy in the classroom. I was a class clown.
Sam.
And
Sam.
yeah, I never made the grade, and when that C average thing came in, I was done. I was done. And luckily for me, you know, hip hop, b-boying was there to
Yeah.
make me, you know, show me another path that I could
That's
go.
crazy, man. And going back to that, since it's a Latin rap segment that we doing, you know,
Let's just call it Latinos, influential Latinos of hip hop culture.
yeah,
How about
for
that?
sure,
Yeah,
for sure,
You know what I mean?
definitely, man, because they've always been there, you know.
Absolutely.
And I feel personally, I feel like they haven't gotten the credit that they deserve, that y'all haven't gotten the credit y'all deserve, honestly,
Yeah.
when it comes to hip hop and how influential they were.
Well,
in
I
hip-hop.
mean, I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit.
Okay.
And here's why. Because as you're sitting here, you know, I'm the first Latino to go gold and platinum in the United States and Mexico,
Nice.
and that opened the door for Cypress Hill, Kid Frost, Lighter Shade of Brown, Fat Joe, the Beat Nuts, and everybody, you know,
Yeah.
Big Pun, and all of us have sold millions of records. You know, as for myself, I became the first Latino to be on Arsenio Hall,
Ooh, nice.
Soul Train, Don Francisco, and Cristina.
Whoa, you went on Don
See the
Francisco?
versatility
That's
of that,
crazy.
and that was, and we benefited from that in real time. I mean,
Yeah.
once I broke the doors open and took it on a global scale, whereas Mr. Schick and the Mean Machine was more regional
Yeah.
of a record, I was able to do that on a global scale when we dropped Mentirosa, and so now it became a global thing.
Yeah.
where they're rapping, doing my song in Chile, in Santiago, Chile,
What year
in
was that?
Colombia.
When
Now we're
Filoso
talking
dropped?
about 1990.
Oh, okay.
1990 when that single came out.
That
So
was I'm sure you heard of him, Vico C.
Vico was one of the first guys I met in Puerto Rico when I went out there.
Really?
Him and Lisa M, true pioneers of the Puerto Rican
Vico for sure, man.
Puerto Rican
I don't
lingual.
know if you've seen his movie. Have you seen the movie?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
It's a
I haven't
pretty
seen
good
it
movie,
yet.
man. It's a really good movie.
I'm gonna check it out. What's it called?
It's called La Vida que nace. Oh no, my bad. It's El Filósofo. You know how they call him the philosopher?
Oh, okay. It's about him only?
La Vida del Filósofo. Yeah,
It's about
his
him?
life.
Okay, all
It's about
right.
his
I'll
life,
check
his
it out.
story, and it's
I thought it might have been about the encompassing group of everything.
no, it's his life, his struggles,
Okay.
and how he became to be Vico C. You know,
That's what's
the
up.
guy we know today. Because once Frost opened up my understanding that there is Latinos out there rapping,
Yeah.
and then I started running into you know, Mellow Man Ace. I started running Lighter Shade of Brown. I found out Lighter Shade of Brown is from out here in the IE.
Yeah,
You know, they're from
that's
Riverside,
right.
so I'm like, that made me more proud. You feel me? Because we from out here, and then I started searching. I just found Vico C. I found all these dudes, you know, all these cats. So it just went into a whole different side of hip hop that I didn't know about.
Sure.
You know, that resonated with me a lot more. So I mean, that's crazy, man. I feel like I'm taking up all the time. Man, go ahead and ask your questions, man. I'm over here.
Hey, man, hey.
I'm geeking out a little bit. All right, this legend we got right
Alex,
here.
you gotta do you, man. You gotta do you.
Well, have you ever like did you ever fall out of love at one point with the music or just the business?
That's a great question, man. Yes, absolutely. It was 1993. I remember it like it was yesterday because it's like when you lose somebody you're still in love with,
Right.
and you just gotta let them go. You know, and I've been through that too. But it was in that era when I was about to do my third album on Capitol, and they wanted me to do more like Mentirosa type records.
Okay.
But what they failed to see was that the game was changing, and now you had groups like Black Sheep, Engine, Number 9.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You had groups like Das Effects.
Yeah.
Bump skiddly bump bump.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, how are we gonna stay with this when the game is evolving and I have to change with it?
So they're
Right.
trying to
'Cause I've
keep you
always-
in one box.
Right. And so when I turned it in, they were like, we hate this shit. But it was all underground, rugged, taking them
raw, yeah.
Right.
taking them to where the game was going, right?
Right.
They hated it.
Yeah, man.
And
you gotta
I
be
said-
versatile sometimes. You know, you gotta be able to get up and change when the game change, right? If you want to
Labels
keep,
don't
if you
understand
want to
that,
keep
though.
going, you gotta
Well,
change when it change, right?
Well, I mean, I respect their philosophy. Their thing was, you know, Coca-Cola wouldn't change the color of their can now, right? That was the way they pitched it to me. And I was like, well, Coca-Cola doesn't have to be versatile and blend in every year with what's coming out. And they forgot about the involvement and pushing the envelope of culture and music, right? They forgot about that part. Because for them it just became, are you turning the cash register?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
It's all numbers.
So when I saw that, I said, well, then I want to leave the label.
Yeah.
Thinking that I could just go to another label.
Right.
Which I had a favor that was owed to me by a man named Irving Azoff, who was the president of Virgin Records at the time. Because he loved what I did with Kid Frost on the Lowrider thing. And he came to the video shoot and said, Mello, we love what you're doing. If you ever need a favor, come see me.
Yeah.
So I had Irving in the back of my pocket. So I thought. So when I say I want to leave the label. I want to leave Capitol. At that time, that record deal was going to be $500,000, right? I had worked my increments up already that much. So I'm leaving now. I'm leaving $500,000 on the table, and I said, okay, I'm cool with this. They were mad. They were upset. They delayed the paperwork, so I couldn't sign directly anywhere for a minute. In the interim, I meet Tony A and stuff, and we start building on that fourth album, which would have been totally different from Black Havana. But I go looking for Irving Azoff, and all of a sudden, the door's shut. So they tried to blackball me and blacklist me, you know, because they all know each other.
Right.
This is the only business like that you can't just like if you're a disgruntled basketball player, like LeBron James wants to leave Cleveland, right?
Right.
He could leave Cleveland and go to the Lakers or go to wherever.
Right.
You know, Kyrie Irving doesn't like it somewhere. You know what, man? I'm packing. I want to get traded.
Yeah.
Well, in hip hop and in music, you can't just get traded to another label.
Right.
You know, because for whatever that little stigma is that they've created, you know, and that's something that plagued my career. So that's when I fell out of love. To answer your question.
Wow. So it was like a moment where it turned its back on you as far as the labels and all that. So
Well, I think it was just not understanding that business model.
Right.
For me, you know, looking at it now, hindsight being 2020, I'm much wiser, much older, and can understand where they were coming from.
Right.
However, whether or not I liked it or not at the time, you know, that's beside the point. However, Capitol told me I'd be over. I'd be done, over with, and done. That's it. You'll never be heard from again and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, you know, my loyal fan base ended up following me
So you didn't relate to that situation.
to wherever I went. And, you know, I mean, my core base, and I'm not talking about the people that just heard Mentirosa and, oh, you know, fell in love there and
Yeah.
stopped there. I'm talking about the cult
Bought your
motherfuckers.
albums
You
and all
know what I
that,
mean?
Yeah.
Can we curse?
No, yeah.
Hey,
We
this-
drinking on camera, bro. What you think?
So-
This ain't Disney, man.
And so the cult motherfuckers
Yeah.
followed me, and lo and behold, here I am now 25 years later, 25 since that happened, and I'm still in the game. You know what I mean? And I'm happy to say that it's due to those people that still buy shirts and come to the show, buy a CD.
Yeah, my manager talked about you all the time. I got a music manager. He says, you know, you say he told me mention my name. You don't know who I am. Nick Martinez, top creator.
Of course,
That's
man.
my music manager.
Kansas City Chiefs fan. deluxe.
Yeah, yes he is. That's my music manager. He helping me out. He doing the whole
Tell
thing.
Nick I said what's up.
Yeah, for sure. We'll sign this clip right here.
You over here getting mad at me? You know people that know people too, huh?
Hey, you know,
Oh yeah. See, look at you now.
Hey, we all got a little foot in the door a little bit, so no, it's a blessing us having you right here at this moment for real. Because we're at a point in our career where we started this company, Boundless Media Group. The logo we got on my cap right now, and it just took off. You know, and it was overwhelming the amount of love and the amount of work we got out of nowhere. And then we literally started this in January, late January,
Right.
as far as the company. And
Of
now
this year.
Of this
This
year.
year.
And we here saying right here, man, Tony Ye, like I said, I heard your name before, bro. I've heard you in tracks all over before, man. And then we got Mellow Man Ace with us right here. So this to us is a trip, you know. To us, it's a blessing for sure. And go ahead, Jay.
It's funny because I tell people when they ask about the group, right, and I'm like, yeah, he literally came up to us and was like, you know what, you got skills in this, I got skills in this, he got skills in this. Let's just take those individual skills. Let's create this group. All right, cool, yeah. Why let it go to waste? And then next thing you know, we're thinking, all right, it's gonna be a slow little movement, trying to get some projects here and there. We're gonna be bugging people, hey, let me help you do this for free. Let me help you do this. Let me help you do this. And then, his manager, and Danny gave us the opportunity to be here. So it all just kind of got thrown on our lap. We're like, oh man, we've never done this before.
Yeah.
Man, you should see the first episode. It was yeah.
It was hard for us, but
It was hard. It was because it was an adjustment, right? You have to learn. This is something new for us, hosting something that when we've never hosted anything in our life, right?
Yeah.
And then we get the opportunity where we get people like you to come down here, where you're a big name for everybody. Everybody knows.
Thank you, Crib. Thank you.
Everybody knows your name. And I was telling them earlier before you got here, I was like, how there's always somebody that says, oh, I don't know who that person is, but then you name a popular song,
and boom.
and they're like, boom. I was telling them earlier, I was like, if you ask somebody if they've heard Insane in the Brain, I can guarantee you they've heard it and they know exactly that group.
That's right.
And they're like,
absolutely.
oh yeah, I know that song. Then you know what I'm talking about.
And not to mention the track Mentirosa. That song still get played
And that
to
one
this
too,
day
yeah.
on K-Day and all that stuff,
Yeah.
I hear you on K-Day every day, dude. I'm over here like, girl. By the way, I have a quick question. Quick question about that track. Was that a true story?
Yeah, a true story about a female in my life from the late '80s. Yeah, my first baby mama actually.
Oh, okay. Wow. Wow. Now I know. Now I can die. I can die happy knowing, because I always wonder. I'm like, man, did she really do him like that? Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
But all right, man. Let's go ahead and play some tracks, man. We talking for a while. We got more time coming up with Mellow Man Ace on the Boundless Hour.
Oh yeah.
And the next track we got.
So we got the next
let's
two
play three
tracks.
in a row.
Three?
Let's do three.
Three? All right, we're doing three in a row.
We're doing three. And,
So
go ahead.
let me see which ones you got here. Okay,
We
so
got
the
Brass
next track
Tracks,
is gonna be Brass Tracks. It's another Apollo Brown track. It's featuring Chino XL and Finale. I guess that's how you pronounce his name. Then we brought a Mellow Man Ace song in.
Which one?
Cali.
What are we doing?
Cali.
Actually,
Yeah.
Cali's all the way down. Actually, hold on.
Is it? Oh, I saw that.
Cali's four songs
Okay,
down.
wait. Nope, you said California. Oh,
That's
California. Okay,
So California.
that's a different song.
Oh.
But it's on here. It's on here.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
on
It's
here.
coming. So California is one of my favorite tracks by a well-known Latin rapper too, Lil Rob.
That's what's up.
Lil Rob, dude. As soon as I heard him rap, dude, he's got a different way about his rap. You know, where he just like his flow. I don't know. It just flowed different to me. You know, everybody got their own thing. You know, when you hear Frost, you know Frost track, because you hear the this is Frost.
Well, yeah, I mean, we prided ourselves in that era of sounding different from each other.
Right, yeah. And Little Rob, you just know instantly when you hear his voice, you know, that's a Little Rob track right there.
Word.
You know?
Absolutely.
So that's one of the first tracks I actually heard of Little Rob, called California. And that's featuring MC Magic on the talk box, the whole Zapp and Roger feel to the track.
Let's get into it.
And then after that, it's So Rough, So Tough. That's Jay's track, right? That's your track. Oh, there you go. That's a Mellow Man Ace track right there. So we do got a mellow track coming up.
Oh yeah.
So we got 3 tracks in a row coming up, man. This is the Boundless Hour, Danny Yakuras Productions, and Mellow Man Ace in the building. Let's get it.
Can't have it too
Yo,
Right.
That was Mr. Mellow Man Ace right there himself.
just played. Did you get that idea from cocaine?
No.
The artist.
No.
Yeah,
For
man.
those who don't know,
quick.
we're not promoting
That's also the way like he does.
the artist.
The
okay?
originator of that little trippy type of voice is Parliament Funkadelic.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that's where I got it, and that's where I'm sure he got it too.
Okay.
That's what kind of
Yeah. No. Parliament, you know, Bootsy and them, you know, George Clinton.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy, man. We back at the Balance Hour right now, man, and we got Mellow Man Ace in the building. So I asked you a question outside, man. I was gonna re-ask it to you right here on the mic.
You have to. You have to.
Yeah, so I'm trying to save it. Yeah. So, being a Latino artist, and in a time where Latino or records were limited, I guess you can say. How did you, in your mind, plan out to overcome this obstacle? Because at the time, not too many Latinos were popping off, you know? They were mainly underground and seldom heard on the radio and all that. So when you finally decided this is what I'm gonna do and this is how I'm gonna do it, what did you plan out in your mind? Like, how did you see I'm gonna overcome this obstacle in this certain way?
I never really looked at it as an obstacle.
Wow, that's great.
That's the thing.
Nice, I like that.
And because I'm black and Latino, I think the radio executives like Greg Mack at the time was more amped to hear my music.
Mm-hmm.
And enough respect to Greg Mack and what 1580 K-Day, because they took that all Spanish rap record and played it on an all black radio format.
Oh, nice.
And of course, I mean, we're jumping around a little bit, and there were some closed doors and some things, but we're not gonna give them no light. We're not gonna give them no shine.
Right.
And so when I got to Delicious Vinyl and we put that record out, the Mas Pingong record,
I like that.
Greg Mack took a chance on it and spun it on AM 1580 K-Day radio, and it really got my buzz up in the street, something crazy.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how was it your first feeling on, and my bad to y'all, but I'm over here asking questions back and lab, bro. How was your first experience on hearing yourself on the radio for the first time?
I mean, I think I still got the cassette tape because I taped it. You know.
Nice.
I just have to look for it. But it was amazing. It felt like a surreal, unreal moment. You know, like what it must feel like hitting a home run with the bases loaded at Dodger
Yeah.
Stadium for the first time. You know,
Nice.
like it felt like that good. You know.
Nice.
Yeah, that must be great.
And at the same time, I was like, "Fuck you, motherfuckers!"
That's right.
Fuck yeah.
That's
You
right.
know?
Hell
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Don't let
Yeah.
anybody hold
That's
you
dope.
down. There you go.
All right, y'all ask respect because I mean Mello can have a conversation the
all
whole
the-
night.
Hey man, if you
We're
want
gonna have to bring him back, man,
because
because man, I got hours of
No.
questions to ask him, man.
All the game that you know now,
Yeah.
would you, if you would have known it back then, would you would have changed anything?
Yes. Yes. I believe yeah.
What would you change?
Well, I would have been more knowledgeable going into the music business. I would have educated myself more. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's called the music business.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cats know the music real
But they
good.
on the business side.
Business.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm trying to learn right now is the
It's-
business.
It's like you were saying earlier. All they're trying to do is just make that cash, right? And they're
Yeah.
not really understanding,
That's all that the labels want to do.
you know. Yeah.
Well, the label's trying to make the cash too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So us wanting to make the cash, there's nothing wrong with that.
no.
You know, it's just knowing how to speak Jewish ebonics in a contractual form.
Yeah.
Jewish
Hell
ebonics.
yeah, we
Oh, that's
raw
a-
right here, man.
That's a new
That's
language.
dope.
I learned.
Yeah.
No.
So you'll know.
Terminology. Yeah. Shout out Tony A in the back, man. He back there chilling with us too, man.
Oh yeah.
I'll get you another one in a minute, alright? Get you another one. But that's dope, Jay. Any questions, man, before I go off on this
Go
conversation?
hey,
No, I'm giving y'all an
Go
opportunity.
ahead.
Go off. I'ma go
hey
off.
man, if
I'ma
you
go
got
off.
the questions, I'm over here. I'm just soaking in all of this knowledge right here. That's I mean,
Definitely,
you know,
so don't mind.
we're young cats in here. We got somebody that's got an experience.
I'm gonna let to
You
be your
know.
daddy, boy.
Yeah,
You
man.
got to sun us
You know,
today, bro.
right? You know,
got to
we're-
sun
you
us
know,
today.
I'm listening. I'm like a sponge right now, and I'm just soaking all this in because you know we all make mistakes. We all make decisions that later on we're like, man, why did we do that? But we learn from it, like you said. You know, you learn from it, you got wiser, and you continued to do what you love to do besides what happened. And look at you now. I
Well,
mean,
most
you know,
definitely. I mean, I learned to own my own masters ever since.
That was what
You
I asked
know, and I have my own thing. You know, where I own what I write. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can lease it out,
Mhm.
sublease it, sublicense it, I should say, out to movies, film, video games.
Yeah.
You know,
Now-
on my terms.
Now that you said that, because I've been explaining to them what owning the masters is, well, especially to him, because he's still trying to learn the same as I. Can you give more into detail, like what exactly owning your masters is?
Okay, owning your masters is this. You go in the studio, you make a record, you make a song. It's not even a record yet. You just make a song, right? And that you don't go to a record company and you go, I want a record deal, I want a record deal.
Yep.
They give you a record deal, but you sign your publishing rights away.
Yeah,
Meaning,
they own your.
basically what that is like imagine a social security check, right? When you retire, right? You get a social security check like your
Yeah.
parents, right? One of them retires, they get a check in the mail every month. Well, that's basically what that is for you. So nowadays I still wake up on a quarterly basis and I see a check in my mailbox. That's the importance of that. That's what it is. It's basically your yeah. It's 30 years. 30 years ago, I did a song and a whole album, 2 albums that are still paying me today. You see?
Yeah, because I know he's been trying to figure out how he can own his own masters without.
Well,
having
what-
to-
Because they don't really do it to a lot of, like, they don't really just give it out to a lot of people like that. You gotta, like, earn it somewhat.
No, man, it's basic. It's a basic. When you get a record deal, publishing is part of it.
Yeah.
Whether you're smart enough to keep most of it, or you sign it away because they tricked you with a nice pile of $5,000 on this table, right? And they go, just hurry up and sign it, kid. You got $5,000 waiting for you. You're gonna get some pussy. You're gonna get some this. You get some new Jordan. Hurry up! What are you waiting for? And this is how they talk. Come on! What are you waiting for? It's all there. Look, count it. Come on! Put a signature.
They just keep
Yo, I'm not playing. I had a manager by the name of Maury Alexander, who was a partner with Jerry Heller, and this is how he talked. I go in the office. Mellow, old Chicago gangster, Jewish guy. Mellow. Okay, well, it seems like I'm gonna have to call Cynthia Biederman, and we're gonna go right over him. In other words, we're talking about a deal that's not going right. There's somebody giving us some hostility there about turning in some paperwork. So he's like, we're going to call so-and-so and we're going to just up jump him.
Yeah.
You know, but that was that gangsterism, that Chicago gangsterism, and some of that old school that we had to deal with. Type of man, you walk into a meeting, he would put a revolver right on the table, like, okay, let's start this meeting.
Yeah.
And you coming in like, damn, man,
we gotta get a
I'm from the
revolver.
streets of Southgate. We used to see this in the form of 4 gangsters in the alley. You know what I mean? So it was like, as I grew older, I realized I'd rather see 4 gangsters in an alley than 4 Jewish attorneys and managers in a corporate setting.
Damn.
Real talk, because at least in the alley, I could talk my way out of that.
Yeah.
I just go, hey, carnal, you know what I'm saying? Say the bello, you know what I'm saying? You know, shit like that. And in here, they want you to sign.
Or you ain't getting out.
No,
Or you ain't getting shit.
or you ain't getting shit. Yeah, basically. You know, so.
Yeah, that's crazy. So for artists nowadays, because you've seen how the game has evolved into something that we're all like, what the fuck? You know?
Yeah.
Every time.
Well, which part of it?
The mainstream
Right.
part.
Yeah,
Exactly. We're talking about what hip hop is today.
You know, all that.
Everything, the trap, the mumble rap, the what's playing today on the radio. You know what?
Yeah.
You know, obviously shit we didn't grow up with. And so for, I guess you can call it true artists or true MCs. Shout out to True MC Radio that comes up before us. True artists that are still trying to make their way through all that. What advice would you give certain? Because we got 2 artists right here sitting with you next to you right now. You know, that are still trying to make it in this platform where it's hard to
It's like the
be.
mic. It's like I keep saying, it's a microwave. Going, like you gotta have a hit every 30 seconds.
You know, and because most of these cats are only putting out singles nowadays. You know, they don't really care about albums nowadays anymore.
Yeah, because well, the attention span is so short.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So what advice would you give artists, those who are listening, and the people, and the ones you have right here in front of you, to make it in this time, in this era?
Look.
That's right. That's right.
Look,
No,
you have to understand, I'm 52. I just turned 52 years old.
Don't do it.
All right. So,
So don't do it.
no. It's cool. I like where I'm at. This answer has changed over the years. Okay? Because when I was on top of the charts and they would ask me that, it was, oh man, yeah, just get a good lawyer. You know, just get a good lawyer. Just get a good lawyer. You're gonna be all right. Then in my 30s, it became something more like this: get a good lawyer and a great team around you, and don't give up on yourself. Never give up on yourself. And hopefully you get a hit record. In my 40s, it became all of those things, and then I said, and be ready for ups and downs.
Right.
Okay. Now in my 50s, I have figured out how to navigate well through it all. And I'm going to tell you how I told my own son, okay?
All right.
I'm going to tell you how I told my own son when he told me he wanted to make music. I said, don't do this. That was that's my advice to one of my children,
Right.
okay? Then he listened to engineers of all kinds, black, Latino, Asian, whatever.
Right.
So it's not always about being in front of the camera. Not everybody was built for that. Trust me, when you get mad success and you're in the Kool-Aid in the morning and you can't go to the supermarket anymore, it's happened to me and I didn't like it. You feel me? A lot of guys love it. A lot of guys love it and they jump right into it and they go, yeah, I'm at the market and I got 30 autograph offers, you know?
Yeah,
And shit like that. I was one of the kids that was like, yo, this shit is weird.
Yeah.
You know? And when I couldn't go to the supermarket anymore, that's when I knew, like, this is a little funky.
Yeah.
It's got a little funky, you know. But that's when I reverted more into being more of an introvert, you know, and only turn on the persona and learn how to put the persona away when I got home.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I hung the, when I go home, I hang my hat, whereas I used to wear it all the time.
Yeah.
And I learned that, you know, if the kids come trick-or-treating and I'm still Mellow Man Ace, I shouldn't be having to entertain them. I should be El Piano Reyes. You feel me?
Okay.
And that's the part that gets difficult to understand, when to turn it on, when to turn it off.
Having a sense of self, basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of rappers don't know how
They
to
lose themselves.
Oh, yeah.
They lose themselves.
Well, that's
Especially now.
that's how you stay humble. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
When
definitely.
you can put it away and just go home and just be you. You have to take out the trash. You have to cut the grass. You have to, you know what I mean? Do your dishes and all that. Sweep your floor, or you know, whether you have a maid or not. Eventually, you're gonna have to take out a trash or two.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care who you are.
Right.
And then some of us have women in our lives that are just like, I don't give a fuck who you are. You gonna take out the trash, you know, shit like that. So that's the kind of things that keep you grounded and keep you humble. And I think those are valuable lessons that you have to keep.
Right. Wow.
I mean, and the other thing, one thing I've learned recently is you can never underestimate the power of what the next man's thinking. Because we don't know, for instance, what him or he is thinking right now. Like, I'm here right now, but I'm thinking about I'm going to be fucking next to Jay-Z and Beyonce at the Grammys next year, and I don't give a fuck what these niggas,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he might be thinking on some selfish shit.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's going to be about me, and I'm going to be over there, and I'm going to, you know, you never know. And so the other thing is, when you connect with somebody, you know, try to be like-minded people, man.
Yeah. Okay.
And even that, and then there's no guarantee, because once money is brought into the equation, people can flip.
Yeah.
People flip,
Yeah.
okay? And I've seen the most underground motherfuckers flip into some bougie, just I don't even know you anymore shit. You know, I've seen that too.
Some phone numbers started dramatically just changing out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Yeah.
Man, that's crazy, man. That's powerful and enlightening, honestly, because, you know, a lot of people have told us, you know, like, hey, man, music business right now is a dead industry. You know, it's hard to get in and still stay real. But then at the same
You
time,
want to know the truth?
Go ahead.
The music industry has been over for about 10 years, if not more.
What makes you say that?
Because what you're seeing is a facade of what it used to be. When they stopped handing out gold and platinum records, when the old timers checked out and cashed out, sold their record companies and went to the Bahamas and bought properties, stuff like that, the game was over already. People like Jerry Heller cashed out. People like the guy who used to own Island Records, who had signed Bob Marley, people like that, I forget his name, he cashed out. When Tommy Mottola and all these guys cashed out, the game was over then. So what you're seeing is a facade. You see, the Grammys, what real artists do you really see on the Grammys that you go, oh, that's some Isley Brothers type shit?
Yeah, they took Nipsey's album last year. R.I.P.
Okay.
Nipsey.
So now you have a digital
Yeah.
music industry, which is not really real. It's a facade, baby. You know what I mean?
How do you really feel like? How do you really feel about the digital way? Like how it's no more physical CDs, really?
Well, I mean, it is what it is. I've gone through, when I first came into the business, we started recording on a 2-inch reel. I was recording on the 2-inch reel. From that, we went to, I believe, the DAT. Was it the DAT? We went to DAT machines, and then we went to the CD. No, we went from 2-inch reel, then we went to CD, and cassettes, and then we went to DAT, and then we went to digital. Right? So I've seen all the changes, and whether you can be versatile enough to understand what's going on. Either way, they own your creations, no matter what other next technology will come out, whether now or 30 years from now, if you sign a bad deal. So, and what do I feel about it? I feel it you know, it's evolving, it's changing, it's made music thinner, linear. You know what I mean? It's not warm as it used to be. Those bass line tones and stuff like that have changed. They're not as
Yeah.
warm as they used to be. And so, what you know, who am I to say, hey, this is terrible, let's go back to the old? I'm not gonna change the game, and I'm definitely not gonna slow down technology
Yeah.
any. You know what I mean? So you just have to kind of go with it.
What do you think the steps that artists that still, for example, artists that I guess a lot of hip hop heads call still real hip hop artists, such as like J. Cole or Kendrick and artists like that, what steps do you think they took, you know, as far as being able to still keep an essence to who they are and in hip hop and then
Yeah.
still make it to the mainstream platform, you know?
You know what? I don't know. I don't know what those guys did, but I can tell you this. The main ingredient in all of that is manifestation. The power to manifest your surrounding. You see what I'm saying? Because nobody gets anywhere without thinking about something first. You want to go to the supermarket and get some bread, you had to think about it. Hey, I'm out of bread. I got to go down to the supermarket. So it's, and then you go to the supermarket, voila, there's the bread, right? So it's the same thing in life. It's a universal law, and I hate to use the universal law of attraction, but it is. You know, but it is. And I think a lot of it just has to do with perseverance and wanting something so bad. There's not a single motherfucker in this world that can stop you. Not anything I say here today, not anything the preacher and pastor says on Sunday.
Yeah, that's dope, man. So let's get into some music, man, because we're running out of time. Time is flying, bro. We're having a good time right now, Mellow Man Ace. So we're gonna play. Matter of fact, let's do 4 songs in a row this time, just to get the music out there.
Yeah, man.
You know? So we ended on
So
what?
here is
We ended on
that.
So Rough, So Tough. This is the Cali track.
Yeah.
that we had
Here's the
coming
Mellow
up.
Man Ace
Yeah.
Cali track. After that,
Produced by my son, Kazal Organism.
Oh,
Yes,
what word? That's produced by
and he
your
did
son?
the So Rough, So Tough as well.
Oh, what?
Oh,
Shout out to
man,
him,
there you
man.
go.
That's dope. That's dope. That's a blessing right there, having your own son produce your own stuff right there,
Telling
man.
you.
That's a
Telling you.
trip. That's a trip. Only one that got kids right now on this table is him, you know, other than yourself. But that's crazy. So after that, we got Dream Shatter, man, by
Yeah,
Big
Big
Pun.
Pun.
Big Pun, a big name in
It's
the
a
Latin
great
rap
record.
game.
It's a great record.
Capital Punishment. That is one of my, dude, that album blew my mind when it came out, you know?
Big Pun is the man.
Big Pun is dope. And then we got your friend right here, Kid Frost, No Sunshine.
Absolutely.
We got No Sunshine. Shout out to Frost one time, man.
Yeah, man.
And then after that,
we got a Cypress Hill track, Reefer Man, off
Reefer
of the
Man.
Elephants on Acid album. That
Okay.
was the new album from last year, right?
From this year.
Or this year.
Yeah, it just came out.
oh, dope.
2
Yeah.
months. 2 months ago, tops.
Dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a track
Okay.
from there, so we're gonna play those 4. And
Dope, man. Let's get it going,
Then
man.
we'll be back and listen to the Boundless
Yeah.
Hour. We got Mellow Man Ace in the building on Danny Alvarez Productions. Let's get to it.
Run it.
For the love of music.
That's right, that's right.
Got
You
the
heard,
Boundless Hour.
you heard a couple tracks right there by Mellow Man.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, we got Legend chilling in the building with us tonight, man. And then we got this boy right here kicking into the corner, man. What's up? Much love to you, man. Got Tony Ye right there in the background, you know. And it's the Boundless Hour, man. And we back with Mellow Man Ace. And in your career, you've had plenty of hits. Plenty of hits that you were involved with directly and then indirectly.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of artists who you brought upon, one of the main artists nowadays, who just got recognized for their accomplishments. Cypress Hill, you know, a group that you take all credit for starting for sure, especially after the story you told us.
My brother and I, yeah.
Yeah, you and your brother Zen Dog, my love Zen Dog, you know, out there. Shout out to him. So, Kane, you got any more questions before I go off?
I got one right
You got
now.
one, that's right. Go ahead.
So, you know, we talked about earlier how you guys created the group and everything, but besides that, was there anybody who, you know, outside of fans, now we're putting fans aside now, was there anybody who was there to help you and, you know, basically was like your rock to just keep you going when you were doing this? Through your whole career, from beginning till now, you know, besides the fans, you know, we're going to exclude the fans from this one. You know, besides that, was there anybody else in your life that was just like, I'm here for you?
God, that's a good question. I mean, aside from my mother, you know, and aside from my mother, maybe, you know, my father, um, no. I mean, I would have to say, you know, no. No. Music itself has been there, you know, whether I was in love with her or I hated her or she hated me for a time period there in the mid 90s, when things got a little funky at the record company. But I mean, it was still there for me, you know, and no matter whether I was on a label or not,
Oh.
I'll take that. Tell them to put them on hold. We're not taking no calls right now.
That's the first time anybody's ever called.
Marcel Martinez, is that the name of that?
Yeah. MCs.
And so, no matter what, the Mellow Man Ace Telethon, we're taking orders now for. Nah, just music. You know, music. Music is like. It's like a family member. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because for me, my grandfather was a musician. My uncle was a musician. All my uncle's kids were musicians. My mother was a singer. All my cousins are musicians. My brother, myself, my son. So music is the family business.
Okay.
You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
So music's been there for you, to answer that question.
Yeah.
Basically.
That's dope. That's dope, man.
I said that while you answered the phone.
I was
If you were listening over, no, I'm just playing.
Look, motherfucker. All right, man. We got somebody calling in right now. This is a radio show that goes on Friday night. It's called True MC Radio. He's really hip hop educated. He know hip hop for front to back like no other. So we're gonna put him on the line once I figure out how to get this damn thing on the line.
Put it on speaker.
Yep.
Hey, you making us millennials look bad. Don't know how to use
Look,
a house
hey
phone.
man, True MC, you hear us right now?
Yeah, what's up, man?
What's happening, bro? Yeah. So we're gonna put. Let me get the mic on you real quick and go ahead and ask me what you gotta
I
ask.
can hear him. I can hear him.
Yeah, but we gotta.
Oh, word.
Go ahead, man.
Hey,
Go ahead.
man. Hey, I just wanted to call you, man. I've been watching the last couple of weeks, man. The beef shows. Dope, man. I love it, man. I love what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
And shout out to Mellow, man. I got a little bit of history with Mellow with my brother Nick Martinez.
Oh, that's what's up. What's up, cousin?
We were talking about him earlier, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah. And it's good to see Mellow back out, man. I always got love for that brother.
Thank you, man. I need that.
That's dope,
Yeah,
man.
hey, I was gonna tell you too, man. True MC did our own beat show too, man. Where I began the show, I started it out with the legendary battle of Kumo D and the Chief Rocker Busy B, man, at Harlem World back in 1981.
Sure.
So we went through the history of beats like that too, man. And then you just picked it up and carried it off, man. That was dope, man.
That's crazy.
Yo,
man. That's
good
crazy.
looking out now for sure. I'm really big on those old school battles. That's kind of like the school that I learned from. You know, those MCs. You talk about Melly Mel and the Grandmaster Flash, the Furious Five, the Cold Crush Brothers, the Fantastic Five, Soul Sonic Force. All those groups I really learned a lot from, and mostly just learned a passion about what I really wanted to do based off watching them in the early 80s and mid 80s.
Yeah, man, for sure, man.
And remember, a lot of their records came out late 79, like 1979. The very first hip-hop hit was created by Sugar Hill Gang. But I have gone in deeper where I've learned who the other guys were who didn't get the record deal in the 70s. So I learned from all those dudes in the 70s. A lot of them are my friends now. And into the 80s. So I'm really familiar with those battles and those tapes from back then.
That's dope, man. A little background, what True MC over here is talking about. Prior to this segment, we did a three-part beef segment where we studied into beefs that have happened from the beginning of hip hop towards nowadays beef and stuff like that. So True MC is like Shout out to True MC, man. You out here holding it down, you know, with your knowledge in hip hop too, and we appreciate what you're doing also. So yeah, bro, we got Mellow Man Ace in the building, and you know, you've been in hip hop long enough to see the evolution of beefs and you know.
Yeah, I've seen all that.
Exactly. So
I've seen all that. I've stayed away from all of that. You know?
Right, there you go.
Well, I mean, when the thing about beefs is like, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Back in the old days, man, that's how you got your chops, man. That's like you had to, you know, battle. You had to come up that way. You know, well, the street MC, you know, had to come up that way. So, you know, there's a lot of history there, man.
Absolutely.
Like it's kind of something that's missing, I feel, out of newer hip hop, because newer hip hop is just mostly about beats, personal beats. And back then, man, it was about making a name for yourself.
Well, now it's about the friendly cipher. You know what I mean? It's not so much about the battle, really. I trust me, I've been in my share of battles in the '80s when I was running with, you know, Crazy D and DVX and the whole thing. So we had battles. I know what a battle is, and battling in English and Spanish with certain crews. So no, I'm real familiar with it. But nowadays it's like the friendly cipher, and where guys shake hands and go, "All right, man, I like your shit," you know. Back in the day, we were like, "Man, your shit is whack. The fuck out of here." You know what I mean? And then, and you just get the fuck out of there, and you go home and you practice some more, and then you came back and battled again, and if you got nicer, you got your respect, you know. But now it's considered vulgar. Like that's how we did it.
Yeah, for sure. But yo, man, I just wanted to call up and give you props to that, man. You know, definitely shout out to Mellow Man Ace, man. The man paved the ways for a lot of, especially, you know, Hispanics, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, man, much love there, man. But yeah, man, just wanted to give a shout out to you, man.
Respect to you, my man. Respect. Thank you.
Shout out to
Respect.
True MC Radio, man. We appreciate you calling in, man, for real.
All right, man.
All right, y'all, blessed night, man.
Peace.
Take care.
But now it's considered vulgar. Like that's how we did it.
That was dope.
Yeah, man.
Dope call. Dope call. Real dope call.
He's True
I say
MC.
line
They
too. We
come
got
on
another
Fridays.
call award.
Oh my.
My bad.
Hey man, you
Look,
making us
dude,
look
we
bad.
get the
Don't know
hang
how to
of
use
it.
a house phone.
We are getting the hang of it.
Oh
Damn
man.
near payphone we got up in there.
That motherfucker worked just perfectly. That's why you clowning. To be honest with you,
I'm over here in the
yeah.
job.
It worked perfect.
You know what? All right, that's my bad. That's my bad.
Man.
So, what were we talking about?
that was funny. I'm sorry. I just
Tripping on me. I mean, yeah, whatever.
Anyway. Yeah, man. I mean, this has been a. We don't want to hold up too much time. You know,
We got no broad time.
we're the Boundless Hour for 2 hours, as we say every week.
Yeah, we
You
call it
know.
the Boundless Hour, but we take up like about 2 hours.
And 2.5. It's all right. It is what
Like
it
you
is.
want, all right?
Exactly.
So-
You know, we're in the building with Mellow Man Ace. So because of time, we are gonna go straight into what we do at the end of every show.
Well, actually, before that, my bad, Jay, because I actually had a song on there queued up, Mellow Man Aces.
All right. Only because it's that.
Only
That's
because
fine.
it's mellow, so
All
you're
right.
gonna let me play it.
Only because it's that.
And that is the song Mentirosa. I had to play the song tonight. You know, we have to leave on there. So, Danny, go ahead and look up the track, Mentirosa.
Speed it up like 5 BPM for me, Dan.
Why you trying to hit it?
No, I just like it a little faster.
Oh, you like
That's
it?
how I perform it on stage, actually. We actually
Really?
do it
Really?
5 BPM faster, right, son? Yeah.
Damn, that's dope. That's dope. I don't know if we can do that.
It bounces more.
I like that.
Bounces
Yeah,
some
no,
more.
yeah. And Danny's saying no.
So-
He's like, no, I don't know about all that.
We'll get into this one track this time. We
Yeah,
promise.
yeah.
One track. We'll come back in. We'll do our
Finish off with the
ending.
IE.
Finish off with the IE artists, and we'll go from there. So let's get into this track real quick.
This is Mentirosa, Mellow Man Ace. You gotta say it with the Mentirosa.
Alright.
Back with Mellow Man Ace, bro.
Oh yeah.
We appreciate you being over here, man.
Most def, man. Most def. It's all love.
So, like we do in every Boundless Hour segment, we finish off with IE artists. We like to use this platform to give, a platform to all the IE artists out there.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had a chance to, get the platform, get the stuff played.
So
Yeah.
we do play some that have been out there
Mhm.
that are from the IE. We also play those who aren't famous or known
Yeah.
as well. We allow people as well to DM us either on Instagram or through the Facebook page if they want to play any of their, if they want any of their music played here, you know, they can send it to us. We do have to like and approve it.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah,
going to
for
just
sure.
play anything. But, you know, it was just a thing that we came up with that we wanted to do just to, you know, just to let them get a little bit of play here as well. You know, for those that are like, oh yeah, I want to hear my song somewhere, or let it get out somewhere, because, you know, we know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows
Yeah.
somebody, right?
Yeah.
That they may not know. So we do this after every single episode.
Yep.
Today, our songs
Today
are,
we got actually our own tracks. We have our own artists that we've been working with. Myself, and John, or Kane, my bad. Prior to this, you know, we've had artists like Lattice Shade of Brown. You know, they're well known out here in the IE. They come from the Rubidoux area.
Yeah.
One of them from the Riverside area, and rest in peace, DWTX, man, for real.
So,
You know,
absolutely.
it was an unfortunate event that happened a couple years back, but he was for sure a pioneer. Dude was a legend, you know. And so today we're coming with 2 tracks that I released about 2 years ago. We're talking about 2016. And it's a track with myself and Kane, who's out there being a dad right now. You gotta have respect for that. You feel me? You know, he's out there being the pops. And so let's get into it, man. Let's go ahead and play him. These next 2 tracks, one of them is called "Don't Trip." That's with me and Kane. And then the next one after that was actually a song that's very personal to me that I called "American Dream," and it's basically kind of a tribute to y'all as far as pioneers, you know, who paved the way to us as far as rap artists, and me myself being a Latino artist.
For sure.
You know? So let's go ahead and get it running, man. It's Danny Alcaraz Productions, Boundless Hour. We're here with Mellow Man Ace, the living legend himself. And this is Jay Moses and Leo G in the building, man. Let's get it running.